Way back in November of last year, I received 70 teams in the mail, and now there are just 10 left. And at the end of this match, there will only be one reigning supreme overall. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda, and welcome to the Junkyard Joust. These are the 10 remaining teams that will be battling for dominance in the Custom Joust. It's been a wild ride to get to this moment, and the wild ride is just gonna continue. If you would like to send a team for the next Custom Joust, make sure you listen all the way to the end of this video. Let's take a quick look at our teams before we start the action. Big Al's primary objective. Chris and Kat's Jurassic Attack. Color Crash. Delivery of Destruction. Dog Fighters. The German Fighter. Previous champion Numbskull Racing. Ransom's Randoms. Rolling Gold. And the Splitters. We've got a little crowd out in the junkyard ready to watch the spectacle. All of the action, of course, brought to you by Junkyard Joust, Joust Your Thirst. And of course, the Junkyard Joust patrons. Become a patron today and support the show. Let's kick off the action. T-Rex, the egg collector, will start off for Chris and Kat's Jurassic Attack. It slots into place, legs down. Randomized running order is up. Coming down next for the German Fighter, Aerodynamic, sponsored by Farty Marty. Aerodynamic drives up the tail of T-Rex, but stays steady for the moment. If you're new to the joust, any car that's sideways or upside down at the end of the round is out. Coming down for Numbskull, Raijin Express, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Raijin slams into Aerodynamic, and we've got our first casualty of the match. Aerodynamic takes a tumble on top of Raijin and cannot make a trademark recovery. That'll be a loss for German Fighter. Shelling It for Rolling Gold, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Shelling It slams into the line. We got 3 cars locked in pretty tight. And now Lola for Dog Fighters, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Lola also slots into place and might have a little bit of a ramp set up now. 195 grams Lemon Wedge for Big Al's primary objective, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. Lemon Wedge carves up the track, and that line of 4 is gone in an instant. Double takedown. T-Rex and Raijin are out, and the 2 cars at the back somehow surviving that devastating hit. Lepton for Color Crash, sponsored by DYW Production Labs and driven by Kitty Reno. Lepton locks into place behind Lemon Wedge. They sort of complement each other a little bit. Now we've got a ramp set up for sure, but how long will it remain? It's Scrabble, 195 grams, also sponsored by Farty Marty for the Splitters. Scrabble tosses Lepton off the track like it was nothing, sets up its own ramp, but Lepton makes a great recovery. Color Crash having proven to have good survival skills with these light cars. And now that we've got the serious ramp set up, Rapid Response will be first to take it, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. Rapid Response does indeed take that jump, and oh boy, this is a tough vehicle to eliminate, but it gets caught in between Lemon Wedge and Raijin, and that is a tough angle that could be beyond 45 degrees, which of course would mean it's out. Bumper Sandwich for Delivery of Destruction, sponsored by Second and driven by Snowbird. Ooh, Bumper Sandwich proving adept at actually preventing the Scrabble ramp. Not many vehicles can say they can do that. Bumper Sandwich is the full package here. Ramp breaker, survivor. Man, Scrabble was almost close to getting forced off the track right there. AJ the Dino Hunter, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. AJ blasts the trailer of Bumper Sandwich off the track. Bumper Sandwich maintains balance. Taking a closer look at the front of Bumper Sandwich, it is impressive that that thing was able to get underneath Scrabble, but now Scrabble is actually slotted back in. F-Racer, sponsored by Judy Collins. F-Racer pokes at AJ, and AJ starts to go off the track just a little bit. We're getting a bit of a jam going on here now. Ain't Fair, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. A piercing 104-gram wallop from Ain't Fair, and F-Racer takes the brunt of it, getting thrown off the track and twisted upside down. That is going to be another elimination for German Fighter. They got 2 down so far. Tax Dodge, sponsored by StarCorps Industries. A stable slam, and it is locked into place. AJ's starting to topple just a little bit here. Charlie, sponsored by Judy Collins. Charlie gets underneath Tax Dodge. Tax Dodge goes up and down a little bit, balances, and it hasn't gone off the track yet, though. Blues Coupe, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Blues Coupe locks it in and sets up a ramp. Tax Dodge gets bobbled about a little bit, does not quite go over, but it's gonna need to shift into position a little bit better to not be counted out. Nuclear, sponsored by Brendan Walsh, driven by Rally X. Nuclear almost gets underneath Blues Coupe ramp, but then kind of pops up a little bit. Might have set up its own ramp, we'll see. X, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. X hurdles off of Nuclear. Nuclear hurdles off of Blues Coupe, and X gets kind of stuck up in a really strange way on top of AJ the Dinosaur Hunter and Bumper Sandwich. And right now, if it somehow manages to stay in that weird position, it's probably going to be counted as out. Looks like it's flying through the air like Frozen. Custom Volkswagen Beetle, sponsored by Chome. Custom Volkswagen Beetle takes that ramp and flies over the whole morass, ends up down by the crates, and somehow makes a recovery. Great landing for that vehicle. Ransom's got to be happy with that. Hammer Down, sponsored by StarCorps Industries and driven by Big Hoss. 171 grams, and a lot happens on that hit. Axe tries to escape but can't do it, gets caught up and goes sideways. AJ turned over. Bumper Sandwich is okay, and so for the moment is Hammer Down. Great hit there for destruction. Lizosaurus, sponsored by Chorgoth. Lizosaurus takes that ramp and loves it. Rebounds off of Hammer Down, heads over by the wall and makes a great recovery. Flipping around and landing it, just like a ballerina or something. Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, sponsored by John and Patrick Hogan. Lamborghini takes that jump and wow, that is a wild bouncing recovery right there. Flipping all over the place. I don't know how many times it flipped right there. Looks like 1, 2, and 3, all in kind of different directions. Triple flip with a landing, pretty great. Turdo Shell, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Turdo Shell does a similar motion, landing over in the same spot. Everybody's bouncing off of Hammer Down. I'm sure there's a name for that move, probably in snowboarding or skateboarding. I don't know what it's called, but Turdo makes the landing. Lucky Duck, sponsored by Judy Collins. Lucky Duck takes that ramp and has no luck this time, managing to get caught down by the crates, turned sideways. Ooh, that is going to be a tough loss for Rolling Gold. That thing has been gold for them. Rocky, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Rocky leaps off that ramp and I think makes the recovery, flips over upside down and then, nope, stays upside down. Did not make a recovery as it turns out, and that might be it for Rocky. Dr. Black MD, sponsored by Milo's Motor Menagerie. Dr. Black takes its own teammate's ramp and doesn't have much luck with it. Bounces off of Rocky, who almost makes a recovery for a second. Dr. Black is also going to be eliminated. Friendly fire. Color Crash sending down Shifter, sponsored by Farty Marty, driven by Mom. Shifter with that big slab of wood on the front of the car kind of flips up in the air but manages to make a balanced landing. And I'm not seeing any eliminations for Color Crash at the moment. Bambalance, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. A much more modified rapid response. This one does not take that jump and kind of slices into it, sticking on the back of the ramp because of a low piece of metal underneath the bottom of the vehicle. That is a ramp prevention tool, if I've ever seen one. Time a Taxi, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Time a Taxi rebounds off of Bambalance, goes curbside. Big hit now, Crunch Time, 177 grams, sponsored by Judy Collins, driven by Large Marge. Crunch time, yeets, time a taxi off the track, out of the junkyard completely, and who knows where it landed. Looks like it landed way out in the swamp somewhere. It did land upside down and will be out, and Ain't Fair, also affected by that hit, goes sideways. Try Wreck-A-Bus, sponsored by Bark the Music Lover. Try Wreck-A-Bus causing some settling as it came down the track. Doesn't look like it really changed much, but now Try Wreck-A-Bus trying to set up its own ramp. Salt Flat Racer, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. Salt Flat Racer refuses to take that jump, bounces off of it, and almost escapes the track successfully, but not quite. And now it's going to be a little bit vulnerable to a hit, potentially. Next hit will be provided by Speedbox, sponsored by Raygull Radio. Speedbox takes that ramp, Salt Flat makes the recovery. Speedbox flips around, and does it land it? No, goes sideways. It's a height of 6, our first big height, big air in the match. Speedbox gonna be eliminated though. Right now, Numbskull is in trouble. Good recovery by Salt Flat. Rapid Response almost had a chance to recover up front, but doesn't manage it. Cheddarbox, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. Cheddarbox gets way up into the sky and lands way down by the crates. Hits a height of 7 on the way, and does it make the recovery? That is the question. I can't tell from that angle. Oh wow, Cheddarbox struggles with that landing, tries to twist itself out and get back upright, but that does not look promising currently. Jack, sponsored by Judy Collins. Jack takes the leap, slides across the trailer of that big rig, and then looks like it just can't quite turn it over. Lands right over by the Junkyard Joust fans, who as usual are in a risky position. The red one, sponsored by Jesus. The red one slots into place, not interested in that ramp. It's got a nice low pokey front to prevent that, and it sticks it right in between that ramp on the Trirecosaurus bus. Ion 2, sponsored by Chicken Rings, Onion Wings, and driven by Gingy. Ion 2 can't get anywhere and just kind of locks it in. Supercharged, sponsored by Sicken. Supercharged takes a shot at Ion, and it works. Ion 2 is forced over and out off the track, and that'll be a loss for Color Crash. Erickenstein Rod, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. A punch from the Erickenstein Rod, and it manages to lock it in with that wide front. Who's going to be able to keep it locked in on this next hit, though? Liftgate, 173 grams, driven by Jenny Gearbox. Liftgate clobbers the line, and 3 cars that were on the track no longer on the track, and in fact they are all taken out. That's what we call a triple takedown. Erickenstein supercharged and the red one all taken out by that big hit, and Delivery of Destruction, who currently has no eliminations, is really doing some damage. As our first triple takedown of this match, will there be another one? It would not surprise me. Liftgate has a ramp set up now. Dynamite, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos. Dynamite takes the ramp, just kind of flops up and over, and it looks like lands it right in a spot that you didn't even know was there. Hits a 7 on its way, arcing and landing, and just finding a recovery spot. Definitely not many in the area. Actually, that's going to be close to 45 degrees, but not surprise me if we have to take a measurement. Coming down next, Monta Racer, sponsored by Chone. A high arcing jump off the back of Liftgate, and man, that thing went way up, and it would have made a landing, but the ground is covered in vehicles. It hit a 7 before it attempted the landing and goes sideways. Does not look good for Monta Racer. Up next for Numbskull, Lamelt, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Lamelt attempts that ramp and has no luck with it, rebounding and bouncing off of it, flipping over upside down. Lamelt is finished already, and right now the former champs team is in tatters. High Life, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. A high vault for High Life and lands upside down at first, but flips it over and tries to find somewhere to land. Manages to find a parking spot, hits a height of 8, and that is the highest so far we've seen in the match. Great landing, and manages to find some unclaimed real estate. Lily for the Dogfighter, sponsored by Coffee Run. Lily takes the jump, flips over and over. I have no idea whether that was a survive or not. Couple of flips over, then a landing, hits an 8. On that initial landing, it looks like she's upside down, but then flips over to a recovery. Dogfighter's pleased about that one. Sunny side up for Big Al's primary objective, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. Sunny side up cannot get underneath that ramp and flips over the top, drives back down almost onto the track. Sunny side up really wanting to get down to the track for some reason, and it is good to go for the moment. Creature Breacher, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet, driven by Dad. Creature Breacher does not go off the jump, punches it and bounces backward, and that's bad news for Sunny Side Up, who gets forced off sideways. Another elimination for Big Al, and I don't know exactly how Creature Breacher avoided that ramp. Mystery Oiler, sponsored by Sicken. Mystery Oiler gives Creature Breacher a little boost, forces it up on the top of Liftgate, where it lands and just perches, then falls over in what looks like an out position. 68 Dodge Dart, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. The Dodge Dart rams Mystery Oiler and sticks to the bumper a little bit. Mystery Oiler does not take that jump. It is a ramp preventer. But the next vehicle might change its mind whether it likes it or not. Savage Salvage, 178 grams, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal, driven by Skanky Pete. Ooh, wow, Mystery Oiler does not budge. Instead, Liftgate goes over. A little bit of friendly fire right there. Dodge Dart taken out, Creature Breacher makes a recovery. 2 vehicles eliminated on that big hit, and Savage Salvage tries to escape the track, but no need for that now. That was the final vehicle of round 1. I kind of didn't feel like there was that many eliminations, but there were 22, and we're gonna take 2 measurements to see if there's even more. Creature Breacher did survive. Ransom's Randoms is gonna lose rapid response. It's at 50 degrees. Chris and Cats are gonna keep Dynamite. It's exactly at 45. 23 total eliminations, 2 teams lost 4. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Splitters, Big Al, Jurassic Attack, and Dogfighters all lost 2 apiece. Color Crash only lost 1, and they're looking good at 4. It's a different story over here as Ransom's Randoms plummets down to just 1 car, and so does Numbskull, only Turtle Shell. Meanwhile, Delivery of Destruction only lost 1. German Fighter lost 3 down to 2, and Roland Gold lost 2 down to 3. 27 cars still in the match, and all the teams. We're going to start off with Savage Salvage. Delivery of Destruction had a great first round. Savage Salvage almost manages to escape the track on this first run. Lepton slides in gently and sets up a ramp on the second run of round 2. Lily takes that ramp and tries to drive straight up the crates and flipping and flopping, landing right side up. Great recovery, hits a height of 8 and then lands it flawlessly and drives over to the height tower and safety. No eliminations in the round yet. Shelling it comes down next and smacks the backside of Savage Salvage and then makes a nice balanced recovery, flipping over once. Looking good for Roland Gold. Tri-Wreck-A-Bus is next. A nice slow glide right underneath Lepton with that ramp breaker. Sets up its own ramp. Good run. Unfortunately for Tri-Wreck-A-Bus, Scrabble coming down next, so that ramp is not going to be in play. Scrabble also has a ramp buster. We've got 2 busted ramps and now a 3rd ramp set up. This is just odd. Sunny Side Up tries a ramp takedown and it backfires big time, flipping over, bouncing off the dinosaur on top of Tri-Wreck-A-Bus, and that's going to be a loss for Big Al. The Sesto Elemento drives right up the ramp and goes bam into the crates, bounces back, flips over, and mauls both of the Junkyard Joust fans. Luckily, they were both wearing helmets, so they'll be just fine, probably. Custom Volkswagen Beetle goes in basically the same spot, bounces off Savage Salvage and tries to make that recovery happen, but loses it right at the end and flops over. That is going to be the loss of our first team. Ransom's Randoms are done, unless that thing somehow gets back right side up. The only remaining vehicle for Numbskull, it's Turtle Shell, and Turtle Shell avoids the pitfall that the VW couldn't, lands it right before those mopeds, and drives away to safety, and that is going to keep Numbskull in this match. Bumper Sandwich takes another shot at Scrabble, does not take that ramp, and wow, Scrabble bends, but does not move from the track. All three of those ramps are kind of locked together right now, so Bumper Sandwich not able to get Scrabble off the track again. Nuclear comes down after Bumper Sandwich and gets underneath the back end, and it looks a little precarious at the moment. Charlie flies straight up in the air off the back of Nuclear, and did you see the spins on that one? How many spins was that? 1, 2, hits a height of 8, continues to spin, that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh my gosh, we've got a new record. I guarantee you no car has ever done that before. 6 times spinning and landing it. Dogfighter's putting on an air show today. Tax Dodge bams Bumper Sandwich almost off the track, gets caught up in the girder, but then manages to flip it back over again, just a little roll to a successful recovery. Lizosaurus takes that ramp, no flipping at all on that, just pure balance. Just a nice landing, a little wheelie, can't ask for more than that. Bambalance hooks on Nuclear and pushes it up on Scrabble. Those two cars tangled up. This either could work out for both of them, or they might both get eliminated. It's a dangerous gambit. Scrabble is neutralized for the moment. Big Al takes advantage of this moment to get Blues Coupe set up, and like I said, both of those cars almost went sideways, but they managed to get out of each other's grasp. Bambalance magnetized to that ramp. Nuclear escapes. Salt Flat Racer takes the ramp and slams into the girder, almost goes upside down, but manages to pivot at the last second and save itself. Hammer Down flies off Blues Coupe. Oh my goodness, look at this! Hammer Down has done the unthinkable. Not only taken out a teammate, but flipped over Bumper Sandwich, girder and all. Some people thought Bumper Sandwich couldn't be taken out, but it has just happened because of a teammate, but mostly because of Blues Coupe and a devastating ramp hit that Hammer Down could not avoid. Delivery of Destruction has just been rocked. Creature Breacher now taking the Blues Coupe ramp. Now that those rigs are cleared out of the way, having a little bit better luck with a recovery. Lola takes the ramp and does a nice job of keeping it level and landing it. Dogfighter's excelling in this round. High Life takes the ramp for Rolling Gold, bounces off of Bambalance, and doesn't quite make the recovery. Gets kind of caught up over by Lily. Lily kind of prevented that recovery. That'll be a loss for Rolling Gold. Dynamite catapults off Blues Coupe, flips around a bunch of times, hits the crates, can't quite make the landing, and it looks like Dynamite may be out. Might have even been that last hit on the dinosaur that sent it off in the wrong direction. Mystery Oiler finds nothing to stick its bumper to on Blues Coupe, drives off over the top, almost displaced Blues Coupe a little bit actually, hits Bambalance. Luckily Bambalance manages to stick to that ramp, but that is going to be a loss for Splitters. And now we've got a bit of an issue. Lemon Wedge going down. Going to have to take the Blues Coupe ramp and doesn't really take it as much as takes Blues Coupe out. That is an unfortunate friendly fire for Big Al. Lemon Wedge does manage to survive that hit, and Scrabble may have dodged a bullet there if Lemon Wedge had been able to get underneath Blues Coupe. There's another bullet coming down, though. It's Crunch Time. Crunch Time slams into the line. Bambalance goes flying. Crunch Time flips over. Scrabble withstands the impact. Its ramp was pushed off the track by Bambalance when Bambalance got slammed. Salt Flat Racer eliminated on that hit. That's going to be a third loss for Delivery of Destruction, as Shifter just adds insult to injury and tosses that rig off the track sideways. What a round. That was the final car of round 2. 10 eliminations in that round, and we're gonna do a measurement on 1. It just looks like a battlefield out there. Lepton is the close call, and the measurement is 50 degrees. Lepton will be out. Big losses for Big Al and Delivery of Destruction this round. Looks like Baby Cookie is on the scene to help out the Junkyard Joust fans, and some sort of clown? In a clown vehicle? I don't know why the clown is there. Taking a look at the aftermath, Splitters fall 1 down to 2, Big Al down to just Lemon Wedge, Jurassic Attack down from 3 to 2, Color Crash down from 4 to 3, and Dogfighters steady at 3. Ransom's Randoms will be the first team eliminated in this final match. Delivery of Destruction lost 2, they are just down to 1. German Fighter down to 1. Numbskull still in it at 1, and Rolling Gold drops from 3 to 2. Cookie's driven off in the clown vehicle, and the clown has decided to occupy one of the mopeds. Very strange, but on with the match. Round 3, we're gonna start off with Lola. Dogfighters had a great round 2, and they are looking to start this out with maybe a little ramping. Nuclear says nope to that ramp and sets up its own, and Lola gets shoved gently aside. Jelle takes that ramp and doesn't have good luck with it landing sideways and staying sideways. Something about that sign on the front of this turtle shell is giving it some trouble. Tri-Recabus slowly sidles up and tries to prevent that jump, but it doesn't work with Nuclear. And now Tri-Recabus is starting to tip over. Scrabble zooms into position, and Tri-Recabus gets thrown head over tail, flips over, and is finished. Lola also got pushed sideways on that hit, and that's gonna be a double takedown. And now the Scrabble ramp is set up, though there is a little space between it and the track. If only Delivery of Destruction still had their ramp buster, but this is it. And that was that. Savage Salvage breaks apart in half. Trailer coming off cab, and bam, that thing is toast. Big damage, and it looks to me like Destruction is out of the match. The second team eliminated despite having 4 left in round 2. This turtle shell does the magic for Numbskull, hits the crates, bounces around, and flips it over. A little pivot on the tailpipes keeps Numbskull going. And now it's Lemon Wedge, Big Al's final vehicle in the match. Gotta survive this ramp or take it down. Ooh, Lemon Wedge does not have much for agility. It hits the crates, bobbles all over the place, flips over, and goes sideways. And that is going to be it for Big Al. The third team eliminated. Nobody saw this coming. Bad luck for Big Al. Sesto Elemento takes that ramp and just kind of gives up. Slams flat into the crates, goes upside down, and that is going to do it for the German Fighter. The fourth team eliminated. We're down to 6 teams right now. Lily flies off of Scrabble's ramps, goes up to the crates, and makes a little landing in the safety area, manages to find a spot to survive, unlike a big chunk of the vehicles that are on the field. A lot of eliminations out there. Creature Breacher ramps it and has a great landing, driving straight over Lemon Wedge to a survive. Color Crash looking good right now. Similar good result for Tax Dodge. Lots of people surviving this ramp. Tax Dodge spinning around, never even goes over, and finds a landing spot over next to Creature Breacher. We've got a chain of survivals going on. Lizosaurus does what all the cars have been doing off this ramp, making a great recovery, using Turtle Shell as a little helper. The beasts gotta stick together. Bambalance, probably the only thing that could do this right now, slides underneath Scrabble somehow with that metal on the bottom and prevents the ramp. This is a good combo for Splitters. Charlie hits the new wall of Bambalance and goes curbside. Shifter plies Charlie from the track. A couple of flips, nothing like the 6 from before, but still another magnificent recovery by that vehicle. And now Shifter's got its prong stuck in Bambalance. But we won't find out what could have happened. That was the final car of round 3. We've got 6 eliminations in round 3. That means we're gonna be down to 10 cars. Let's take a look at who's left. Splitters steady at 2, Big Al eliminated. Jurassic Attack is down to 1. Color Crash steady at 3. Dogfighters down 1 to 2. It's slim pickings over here. German Fighter and Delivery of Destruction have both been eliminated from the tournament. Rolling Gold is down to just Tax Dodge, and Numbskull is steady at 1. Nuclear will start us off. Color Crash taking a lead in the match right now. How long will the match go? Until we've only got 1 team remaining. There are still 6. As usual, Lily performs off the back of that ramp, gets out of the safety area, and flops over to a recovery for Dogfighters. And here comes Scrabble. Scrabble declines taking that ramp. There's some detritus over there, a bit of Delivery of Destruction left in the safety area that goes bouncing around. Nuclear does not get hurt by that hit. Lizosaurus takes the Scrabble ramp and does not have good luck with the bouncing on the rear. Bounces off its tail, goes over sideways, and cannot make that recovery. And that was Jurassic Attack's final vehicle. If it does not get righted, they're done. Tax Dodge takes the jump, hits the safety rail, and bounces backwards in a wild fashion. Almost lands back on the track, tips over, gets it back upright, barely avoids the edge of the track, which would have spelt its doom, possibly. And here comes Turtle Shell, making that recovery happen. Actually drives over to meet the clown, piles right into the other moped. The clown does not fall off. I don't know, Turtle Shell, I'd get away from that guy. Creature Breacher takes the ramp and makes a recovery happen. The clip on the front of the car definitely making that happen. Great design on Creature Breacher. Scrabble doesn't even move when these cars go flying off of it. Charlie keeps it clean for Dogfighters and makes the landing happen. Ambulance does not go underneath Scrabble this time. That ramp is very low to the ground, but doesn't take the ramp either. Shifter shoots under Bambalance, but Bambalance stabilizes on Scrabble's ramp. And now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Only 1 elimination, despite almost every car going off the back of Scrabble in that round. We are down to the serious survivors. And then there were 5. Chris and Kat's Jurassic Attack will exit the competition, and Color Crash has a third of the competitors in the match right now. Round 5, here we go, starting off with Nuclear, gonna get that ramp in position, and give Evil Weeple a little ride off the track. Lily takes that ramp and has a bad bounce, flips over, cannot quite get back right side up again, and that is gonna be it. Dogfighters lose 1. We're down to 8 cars. Scrabble just straight up bullies Nuclear off the track, squeezed out between the safety rail and Scrabble, thrown over, eliminated. 2 down already in this round. And now, is there even anybody left who can do anything about Scrabble? Maybe increased speeds will be the key. We'll see when we get to that point. Tax Dodge and now Turtle Shell both having a good result after rebounding off that ramp. Creature Breacher doesn't even take the ramp, just drives straight over it and gets in front, stays on the track. That is admittedly a safe way to do it. Charlie takes the leap and keeps the Dogfighters going. Bouncing back, keeping it flat, good balance, good recovery. Ambulance manages to hook underneath Scrabble and avoid that ramp, at least for the moment. Final car of the round will again be Shifter. Shifter gets underneath, but the magnet saves Bambalance. That is a strange position for them to end on. And we will have 2 eliminations in the round, but they were both from teams that could withstand an elimination. Taking a look at the aftermath of round 5, Splitter's still at 2, Color Crash at 2, with the loss of Nuclear. Dogfighters fall to 1, and Numbskull and Rolling Gold still going. 8 cars left, it's starting to heat up. Scrabble's going down first. I think this is something we're gonna see a lot more of potentially. There's no other ramps in the game right now. Seems like the only way Scrabble can get taken out is if it self-eliminates. Charlie forces Creature Breacher over that ramp even though it didn't want to go, and then backs down the ramp itself. where it's going to take a hit from Turtle Shell. Bam! There they both go off of Scrabble over into the safety area. Turtle Shell skids along the edge of the track, and right now it looks like both of those cars are probably in. Actually, now that I'm seeing Charlie close up, that does not look promising. That might be out. Tax dodge does not help the situation at all as Charlie gets pushed sideways completely as tax dodge makes the recovery happen. We could be looking at the elimination of dogfighters here. Bambulance slams into place, does not take the ramp as usual. And as usual, Shifter gets a shot to take down Bambulance, but does not manage to do it. One elimination in round 6, and we are gonna lose another team. Charlie ran out of luck, and the Dogfighters will score 5th place in this competition. 5th place out of 70 teams, not a bad situation to be in. Here we go into round 7. We're going all the way until there's just one team left. Shifter hits the track first this time. Color Crash missing their ramp nuclear. Scrabble gets a full head of steam, and it's just enough to use Evil Weevil to knock Shifter over sideways. Just enough oomph that Shifter couldn't quite bring it back again. Wow, that could be a big loss for Color Crash. Tax Dodge takes that ramp, and look at this! Shifter is back upright again. Big slab of wood on the front ends up helping it get back upright. Whew, close call for Shifter. No eliminations in this round now. Remember when Numbskull lost all 4 in round 1? Well, here we are in round 7, and Numbskull is still going. Creature Breacher refuses to take the ramp. That clip is serving it well in the finals. And Bambulance tosses Creature Breacher over that jump, whether it likes it or not, but it recovers, bouncing off a tax dodge and making the landing. Close call there for Color Crash, but they are still in it. 6 vehicles left, and we've finally gotten to no eliminations in a round, so we're gonna increase the speeds. This time Color Crash sending down Creature Breacher after that close call for Shifter. They don't want to take any more chances if they can avoid it. And Creature Breacher has better luck with Scrabble, and whoa, look at this. Increased speeds already showing you how there is a chance for Scrabble to have some problems here as it goes curbside, and yet the ramp is still in position. Good recovery by Creature. Turtle Shell at increased speeds. What a rebound. Noses into the crates and just goes way back down the field, turning over at the last second, hitting a height of 6 before it makes a close landing, gets stuck up on the fence, but bounces back and saves itself on that rebound. Numbskull still going. Tax Dodge with a wild rebound, flipping over several times. There's 1, 2, and 3 before it makes the recovery. Rolling Gold is looking good right now. They were the wild cards, and now they are guaranteed 4th minimum in this tourney. Ooh, and Shifter can't really handle Scrabble in front or in the back. Flips over upside down. Only chance here is that Bambulance somehow gets it back upright again. Wow, unlikely landing. Bambulance goes up, looks like it's gonna go over and maybe save the day, but it doesn't. And now, Splitters are gonna take a firm grip on this championship. Color Crash loses Shifter, they will fall to 1. Every other team has 1 except Splitters. It's time for Scrabble to take the center stage. Even at increased speeds, so far Scrabble has proved stable enough to get that ramp in position. And Turtle Shell will take it again, this time bounding all the way back into the mopeds, actually kind of knocks the clown around. Look at that recovery. It's a height of 6, flips over 1, 2, 3 times, and drives into the clown, barely gets it back again, actually uses the clown to get back upright. I'm not sure the clown liked that. Oh gosh, something bad probably just happened there. I'm a little worried that clown may have cast some sort of strange spell or curse over the junkyard. I don't know what's going on, but that's bad juju. However, it did not affect Tax Dodge, again with an amazing recovery for that van after a severe whip around. Preacher Breacher takes the ramp this time, turns over, makes the recovery for Color Crash, and keeps them in the competition. Final car of the round, Bambalance, doesn't do any damage, and we are gonna go to maximum speed. We need to get some eliminations, and maximum speed is the way to do it. Splitters will start off with Scrabble again. Let's see how it handles this speed. Scrabble slams into place. Evil Weevil taking the brunt of that, just getting tossed around violently, and Scrabble just sits there in the track, sets up that ramp, dominating. Turtle Shell does it again. I mean, this shows you why Numbskull was the former champion. That car specifically was the reason. Hits a height of 8 before planting it. It looks to me like Turtle Shell rotated around and flipped a total of about 4 times before making that recovery. Stays away from the clown this time. Preacher Breacher does a great job of taking that ramp in a very controlled, fairly stable way, all things considered. Again, Color Crash survives. Ooh, Tax Dodge cannot handle the maximum speeds and gets forced over on its side where it cannot come back. And it looks like Rolling Gold will indeed score 4th place in this entire competition. What a run for them. Bambalance finishes off the round. That speed boost has made it go off the ramp this time. That's a little scary for Bambalance, but it manages to recover, and it will make it to the next round. 1 elimination, and we're gonna say goodbye to our wildcard team, Rolling Gold. 3 teams and 4 cars left in the match. Who is gonna take it all? Here we go, round 11. And we're still at max speed. Scrabble will take its place down at the end of the track. A little wobble, but nothing major. Turtle Shell with a leap way back down the track, but still makes that recovery. Man, Turtle just goes straight into the crates and then bobbles around on the track. Look at that jump, just perfect. Hits an 8 and then lands on the track, messes the whole track around before, oof, wow, that was very close. Just enough oomph to get over. A close call, but still a recovery, and that's what you gotta get. Preacher Breacher does it again. 1 flip over to a landing. This is becoming a bit of a tradition for this car, going off the back of Scrabble, and that's great news for Color Crash. Bambalance with the big slam into Scrabble's ramp does not go off this time, just kind of pops up in the air, and that means no eliminations in round 11. We're going to no holds barred, everybody. You knew it was going to happen. 4 cars left. Evil Weevil exits the field. Now the vehicles will have to deal with max speed and that bounce back from the safety rail. Scrabble will start us off. This will be interesting. And Scrabble handles the safety rail with skill and ease, setting up the ramp as usual, way back down the track this time. Turtle Shell does it again, all the way down straight into the crates, arcing and turning, couple of flips that time, glides all the way up to an 8 on the way there. The question remains now, can Scrabble be eliminated? Will every run be as smooth as that? It's just gonna be tough to get that car off the track. Preacher Breacher with a perfect launch, lands on the track, goes up front and backs down. Look at that, just showing off. Wow, that is how you survive a ramp right there. Bambalance takes the ramp, and it's a little hairy there for a second, bounces off of Preacher Breacher and goes over. That has not happened to Bambalance so far. Bambalance looking eliminatable here, but not sure about Scrabble. No eliminations in that first round of no holds barred. Round 13, here we go. Scrabble starting us off, bounding into the safety bar. The ramp flips up in the air. The flexibility keeping it stable. The cab of the truck having no problem just staying lodged in the track. How many perfect jumps do you want from Turtle Shell? Way back down the track, still makes it all the way down to the crates, doesn't even flip that time at all. Another leap to a height of 8, a beautiful jump, slams into the crate with the hard shell and makes a perfect landing, drives back towards Scrabble as if to say, yep, I'm gonna keep doing that. And will you look at that? Somehow Creature Breacher does it again. Drives straight down into the track. If it keeps handling the ramp like that, it's just not even going to be possible to eliminate it. These last three teams are really stunning with their survivability. Bambalance makes the leap to end out this round, does not get eliminated, and we're going to be going to round 14. Scrabble will take to the track first. Slams into the safety rail, and ooh, wow, a crack finally showing with Scrabble. The jump goes up on the edge of the track, and it's entirely possible that something could happen here with enough force from max speeds. Maybe this is the moment. Turtle Shell cannot get a takedown, still takes the ramp, just really likes that ramp, and whoa, it was a close call for Turtle Shell. Plenty of space to recover though, and Turtle Shell is good to go, still. Creature Breacher just doesn't have enough weight to do much to Scrabble, just kind of gets it down more into the track, although it's curbside now on the left-hand side. Bambalance takes a shot at Creature Breacher, and it responds accordingly with a 1, a 2, and a 3. 3.5? I'm not exactly sure. We'll say 3. But it recovered, and that was the important thing. Still no eliminations in round 13. No holds barred. This is unheard of. Well, the match must go on. We go until there's one team left. Doesn't matter how many rounds it takes. Scrabble with the loosest hit that it's had so far. Wow, did you see that? Scrabble almost tipped there for a second. Looked like it was about to go over. Okay, well, maybe Scrabble is not infallible. Creature Breacher tries to get underneath, can't do any damage, just too light of a vehicle. Turtle Shell takes a shot at Creature Breacher and floats it into the crates. Creature comes back. Turtle Shell makes the recovery no problem, and Creature Breacher slid along the fence and made it happen. Bambalance just kind of hugs into Scrabble and keeps Scrabble on the track. That was a good move. No eliminations yet again. I'm starting to wonder if that clown had something to do with this. Maybe it cast a curse? The match will never end? That was a weird little bounce back by Scrabble. Looks like it got sort of stuck in the side of the track or something. Actually dug into the side of the track. Turtle Shell does the Turtle Shell thing, as per usual, bouncing off the crates, making the survive. What a recovery, hits a height of 7. I could watch this happen forever, and maybe that's what'll happen. We'll come back years from now, and Scrabble and Turtle Shell will still be going at it. Creature Breacher 2 just has no problem with that jump. Every time flips it over to a recover, and you gotta wonder if there's any way for these cars to actually eliminate each other. There has to be a way. Oh, and as I say that, I feel a little guilty. Bambalance smashes into Scrabble and turns over sideways. No more cars are coming down to help it get righted. We finally have an elimination, and Splitters finally lose a vehicle. They are down to just Scrabble. And now each team just has one car, and this is anybody's match. Anytime a car gets eliminated, that team is gone. Now the randomness comes into play a little bit more. Color Crash starting us off in this round as they got the die roll. Turtle Shell mixes it up with Creature Breacher, and oh no, look what happened. Without the ramp in play, things turned ugly pretty quickly. Creature Breacher gets taken down by Turtle Shell, and if it stays like that, Color Crash is finished. Scrabble knocks Turtle Shell into the crates. It bounces back, goes over, back over to that clown again. Oh, this is just gonna make him angry. I think Turtle Shell needs to take that clown out, or this match might never end. I'm not normally superstitious, but yeah, there's something weird going on with that clown for sure. One elimination in round 17, and I'm sorry to say Color Crash is out, but they should be proud. Third place in this competition is nothing to sniff at. What a run they had, and now it's just 2 left. Scrabble versus Turtle Shell, Splitters versus Numbskull. The former champs could take it again if they can figure out a way to get Scrabble off the track and eliminated. Turtle Shell does what it does best, takes that ramp again and catapults all the way over to the side. pushes the fence down and sits on top of it. Does not want to get eliminated. Close call, I'd say. No holds barred, round 19. Turtle Shell starting us off in this epic match. Turtle hits the safety rail, and look at this, lands on top of the clown basically and takes it down. Bam! Knocks it over along with the moped. Will this break the curse? Will the match end? There's that strange unearthly light again. It looks like maybe it went skyward and left. I hope it left the junkyard behind. Scrabble going down now, second in this round. Scrabble slams into the safety barrier and just stops dead. I don't even know how it's doing that, but now that the curse of the clown is ended, both these cars got to be pretty careful. And we are into round 20. I don't know if there's ever been this many rounds before in a junkyard joust. Scrabble does it again, stopping on maybe a seam in the track or something, setting up the ramp kind of, but Turtle Shell, if it can get underneath somehow, could still do damage. Turtle Shell flies into the air off that ramp off to the left, and I can't even see what happens. Just spinning around like a tornado, lands over on the left-hand side, survives that launch into the air. And now we're going into round 21. Turtle Shell will start off this time. Slamming off the safety rail, going way up into the sky. That might have just broken the record for today's height. And I got bad news for Numbskull. Turtle Shell is sideways. Turtle Shell hits a 10, bouncing off that rail, not even going off of a ramp. And this may prove Turtle Shell's undoing. Gets stuck on Evil Weevil, of all things. Evil Weevil, who's out of this match, who's not even a part of it anymore, and was just trying to get out of the way. Oh boy, that is rough. It looks like that wrecker that Petey is riding in kind of got in the way of Turtle Shell's recovery. Scrabble holds it together, folks, and that is gonna end the match. What a wild ending. Turtle Shell making it up to a height of 10, but not able to make that landing as it came down in a weird place. It took 21 rounds of mayhem to get to this point, but we have a winner. The Splitters are going away with the trophy. There is your podium. Color Crash will get third place, Numbskull Racing with second, and a huge congratulations to the Splitters. They made it all the way, 70 teams. They are #1 and our new Custom Joust World Champions. Thank you to every single team that entered this match. It has been quite the adventure. The Apocalypse Joust will be next for all of you who want to send in teams. Keep an eye out on this channel for a video explaining the rules and how to enter. That video will be coming out in the next month or two, and the new competition should be starting up in the fall. In the meantime, the main Joust competition will continue, and I'm also going to start up the minor leagues, and probably some other special events. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I always appreciate a like of the video. We'll see you next time on the Junkyard Joust.